We're all trying to eat better, but healthy breakfast doesn't have to be boring. So my Magic Spoon, a great cereal, has amazing flavors you love, but without all the bad stuff. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. Only 140 calories a serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. You can build your own box or get a variety pack with available flavors: cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, and cinnamon. Plus, Magic Spoon is bringing back 2 super popular flavors, cookies and cream and maple waffle, permanently. When these flavors were first introduced for a limited time, they sold out extremely quickly. They're delicious and extremely indulgent. My favorite happens to be cocoa. Fruity's pretty good too, and the frosted one is a popular one amongst my kids. So go to magicspoon.com/Adam to grab your delicious cereal and try it today. Be sure to use our promo code ADAM at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/Adam. Use the code ADAM to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode.
Starts with me, it ends with me, and it's as simple as that.
Hoge and Jahns.
The Adams converge.
Let's begin now.
1 passing yard for the Chicago Bears. We just witnessed this. I swear, Johns, we've done so many post-games episodes over the years. I keep thinking we have these games where, like, it'll never be worse than this. It's worse than that.
I can't remember a worse offensive performance with, like, there's been bad teams we've covered, like some really bad quarterbacks, bad skills players. Like, we saw Matt freaking Barkley throwing to, like, Josh Bellamy. This is Justin Fields throwing to Al Robinson. So the context here needs to be important, but this was abysmal.
Like, there was the Jimmy Clausen game in Seattle.
It's Jimmy Clausen.
But that was, like, technically even better than this, and they were trying to be bad in that game.
Yeah.
I mean, John Fox basically punted on that game. He's like, we're good. We'll go back home. This is a loss. They were trying to be good today against the Cleveland Browns. Behind us, if you're watching on YouTube, which you can find the YouTube channel, we are here in Cleveland at First Energy Stadium breaking down this loss. Holy moly, 26-6.
I prefer your holy crap.
Holy crap. Holy lots of
That was
things.
a bunch of crap.
It was crap. And I can't even, well, we're going to get into it. Follow us on Twitter, at Adam Hoge, at Adam Jahns. Where you can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcast. You can watch us on YouTube. So many different ways to find us. And you can read our post-game reaction up on NBCSportsChicago.com for me, TheAthletic.com/Hoge and Jahns for Adam Jahns and Kevin Fishbane, and all your guys' coverage from here in Cleveland. Always good stuff. So, look, let's just dive into this. I can't wait. Weirdly, I'm saying this. I can't wait to watch the tape, as bad as that was, because I really want to see more of what maybe Justin Fields could have done better. Because my first reaction is, I don't know what he could have done better. They put him in such a crappy situation, and I'm trying to be nice about this.
Don't even bother.
He had no chance to succeed. They gave him no chance to succeed. And if I am upper management for the Chicago Bears, I have serious questions about the situation that Justin Fields is in right now, because nobody matters more in the entire organization than number one. And it is just completely unacceptable to have a game plan like the Bears had today for their rookie quarterback.
Yeah, the NFL is a week-to-week league. We hear this all the time. I think that's probably going to be a message that you hear repeatedly at Hallis Hall in the next few days. Detroit Lions, they can fix a lot of things with the Detroit Lions, even though, did you see how that game ended, by the way?
I did, 16. Because I had the Ravens as my survivor pick this week.
Whoa.
So living on the edge.
Thank you, Justin Tucker.
Living on the crossbar. Justin
Dude.
Tucker owe you a steak or a beer or something.
Yeah. But my point here, But my point here is, like, the weeks can't be this bad. Like, it just can't get this low. Like,
this better be the low.
Yeah, this has to be, like, I don't know. I don't know. Again, like, we've seen Matt Barkley move the freaking ball.
Yep.
With Dowell Loggins as his offensive coordinator, with Josh Bellamy, Deontay Thompson as his wide receivers. This offense had the potential to be better. I know they got problems at tackle, but just given that context, like, I was thinking that the entire game. We've seen some bad quarterbacks move the ball against some pretty good teams. This is your first-round pick. I get that there's some growing pains, but that game plan they had for him was awful. There was no adjustments. There was nothing.
This was Myles Garrett after the game. It kind of came to us easily after the second possession and kind of figured out what they were going to do and how we were going to adjust to that. I read that as the Browns probably, like the rest of us, thought that the Bears would get Justin Fields on the move more. Out of the pocket, boots, play action, things that can help him. Split the field in half. And so I think the only adjustment the Browns had to make, if I'm reading that quote from Myles Garrett correctly, is that they made it easier on them. They're like, no, let's just keep them in the pocket with 5-man protection and our garbage offensive line. Yeah. And so if you're Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, you're like, oh, this is great. So your only adjustment is like, okay, let's go get them.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, the Bears made no adjustments. The only adjustment I saw at any point was they tried to do a little no huddle in the third quarter after halftime.
And that didn't work.
You know what you need? You know what you need to do no huddle? You need completions.
Yeah. Well, they tried the quick passing game, and it was too late. I mean, they were sitting in routes. You know, it was everything. That's when you just sat on like the 10-yard routes. Again, everything started becoming underneath, but the defensive backs, linebackers, they all sat on it. They were ready for it. The Browns just seemed ready for it, and I think by that point they knew they had the game went off the edges. Like Jason Peters and Jermaine Ifedi could not handle those guys one-on-one. They didn't have the manpower to even help them. Although that's a kind of a coaching, personnel decision there. But yeah, the entire like if Justin Fields looked overwhelmed today, like I think it's a reflection. You have his poor. It's his inexperience. It's the growing pains he has to get through. But it's also I called it an organizational failure. Yeah. In my column today, or whenever you're reading it, that's what I called it. It's because, it's the personnel decisions that resulted in the offensive line. It's Nagy's poor game plan. It's his poor decision making. It's his poor play calling, and it's just like it's all the coaches included, all the guys that have the input in the game plan too. Like that's an organizational failure to me.
You look taller today for some reason.
You're calling me out?
Did you grow? Did you grow or something?
Yes, I did.
Isn't that incredibly worrisome though? Because I keep thinking like there's no way the Bears can blow this with Justin Fields. Yeah. But yet we know their history. We know their track record with quarterbacks, and that's got to be in the back of everyone's mind who ever watches this team, that how are the Bears going to screw up Justin Fields? Because they just do. And so...
Because they just do.
Now they're doing it. Now, okay, so here's the thing. Is it? And I put this in my column. Is this an overreaction to one game? To me, it doesn't feel like an overreaction to one game because it's not Matt Nagy's first game.
Yeah.
It's not. It's his first game with Fields, but these are all problems we've seen over the years that are now, it's just a different quarterback. And the thing that I think is most frustrating is we know the Bears are capable of adjusting their scheme to help both a young quarterback and a suspect offensive line. Yeah. Because we've seen them do it. They did it last year at the end of the season. When Bill Lazor was calling the plays, at least we think he was for the most part.
Yeah.
But they did do a lot of that stuff we were just talking about with Mitch Trubisky last year. They can do that with Justin Fields. And I just don't understand how it wasn't out there today at all. Like, not even a little bit. They have to start, and this would be my message to Matt Nagy. And these are crucial times for him, I really feel like. Because as I said before, Justin Fields is too important to mess up. And if they do, then I don't know how you keep your job.
Yeah.
And no offensive coordinator would still be hired 4 years into this thing with the results that we've seen. And technically, he fired himself last year and then rehired himself as the offensive coordinator this year. So my message to him is you have to start putting Justin Fields ahead of your scheme. Forget the offense. You have to do things that are for Justin Fields, or this thing just isn't going to work.
Well, this scheme doesn't work. Let's be clear about that. The scheme doesn't work. We've seen 3 years of this. It transcends. It's another thing I put in my column today. It transcends quarterback. From Trubisky to Foles, who was supposed to be the answer, now Justin Fields. Again, it's a small sample size. We'll see what happens against the Lions. But in terms of your question, can you overreact to this? Well, it's the NFL. That happens all the time. But when your quarterback gets sacked 9 times, hit more times than that, has to get x-rays on his throwing hand after the game. Yep. Throwing hand. Yes, you can overreact because that is an awful performance. What were the yardages today? What was the net yards?
It was 418 to 47.
Yeah.
Those are real numbers.
Yeah, you can react to that.
And I think David Montgomery had 46 of the 47 yards.
Yeah. Hey, can I say something? Can we give the defense some credit for keeping this close?
Sure.
Yeah, Eddie Jackson and Deion Bush whiffed on that tackle attempts on Kareem Hunt's touchdown. But keeping this game close was something for a while. It really was, because they were just getting outworked for an extended period of this time, just in terms of what their offense was giving them.
The defense was on the field for 78 plays.
Yeah.
I would be livid if I was a defensive player right now. And the guys we talked to after the game, Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn, they handled it very professionally in saying, well, we just get paid to play defense and we got to do our job, and we still gave up 26 points, but come on. I don't think it's fair to say the defense gave up 26 points, because the offense was responsible for it.
It was almost impressive that it was a one-score game for as long as it was. As long as it was. Eventually, you almost saw that Kareem Hunt touchdown run coming. Yeah, you don't want Eddie Jackson lowering his head and basically running out of bounds. That's not good. But you saw them wearing down. I know what Roquan Smith was saying, but you saw them wearing down. Like you said, 78 plays. It was bound to happen. Even the Austin Hooper touchdown, bound to happen, because they were on the field for an elongated period of time.
I want to call myself out for something I've changed my mind on since the moment it happened.
I know where you're going with this.
The 4th and 2.
I asked him about this.
I defended the decision to kick the field goal, because if you have the opportunity to make it a one-score game, I think 9 times out of 10 you got to do that. And I also had zero faith that they were going to convert the 4th and 2 based on what we had seen. The only reason they were down in that position was because of an awful pass interference call. So I'm thinking they have really no chance to convert the 4th down. You take the points. It's a one-score game. And quite frankly, you got to hope your defense gets a pick 6 or something. And that's your best path to win. That still may have been their best path to win. However, anytime you settle for a field goal, it feels like a loss for the offense. So you don't really get any momentum out of it. If you score a touchdown there, maybe the vibes change a little bit. Maybe Justin makes a great play with his legs, scores, whatever, and that gets some juice going for the offense. I doubt it would have been enough. But in hindsight, now looking at that, I think that probably would have been a better strategy and hope than how
it's an opportunity to give your young quarterback a vote of confidence. And this is the guy you traded up for and drafted with the 11th overall pick. He's a pretty darn good football player. Hey, kid, go get it.
Yeah.
Go show us something. But no, I specifically asked Matt Nagy about this because Justin Fields lingered on that field. He wanted to go for it. We saw Chris Tabor, your special teams guy, holding up his specialist for a while. Took Nagy a few seconds longer than you would expect for him to make that decision, but I didn't like it at all. In the moment, that was as close as they had been to scoring a touchdown.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a bad sweep play to David Montgomery or whatever, at least give your offense a fighting chance. I didn't like it. I thought it was throwing in the towel a little bit.
I'm also kind of glad we didn't have to see what the play call would have been. I'm old enough to remember when the 3rd down play call early in the game was the biggest problem, right? Now it doesn't seem like any. You know what I'm talking about? The weird play call on 3rd down that they had that was a disaster. That turned out to be the number 20 on the list of problems from this game today.
This podcast is brought to you by DirecTV Stream. Does this sound familiar? You've got one device that lets you catch the game live, another that lets you stream your favorite shows. You're watching sports highlights on your phone, and you've got your neighbor's best friend's login for the good stuff. Well, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle. It's called DirecTV Stream, and it brings you your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before. So you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes and no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part, there's no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion. Get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
This episode is brought to you by Four Sigmatic, a wellness company that is well known for its delicious mushroom coffee. Four Sigmatic's mushroom coffee is real, organic, fair trade, single origin Arabica coffee with lion's mane mushroom for productivity and chaga mushroom for immune support. I've been starting my day with Four Sigmatic's ground mushroom coffee with lion's mane instead of regular coffee, and I love how it helps me focus so I can get stuff done. It's amazing, and I absolutely feel uptick in my productivity every time I drink it. It helps me focus like nothing else. And mushroom coffee is also easy on my gut. Doesn't leave me with that awful jittery feeling or midday crash. All 4 Sigmatic products are organic, vegan, and gluten-free. Plus, every single batch is third-party lab tested to ensure its purity and safety. So you know you're getting the highest quality coffee and mushrooms possible. And I know what you're probably thinking. Does this coffee taste like mushrooms? It does not. It tastes just like the coffee you love. It brews dark and nutty and tastes incredible. They have over 20,000 5-star reviews. So we've worked out an exclusive offer with 4 Sigmatic on their best-selling mushroom coffee, but this is just for Hoge and Jahns listeners. Get up to 40% off and free shipping on mushroom coffee bundles. To claim this deal, you must go to 4sigmatic.com/Adam. This offer is only for Hoge and Jahns listeners and is not available on their regular website. You'll save up to 40% off and get free shipping. So go right now to 4sigmatic.com/Adam. That's FOURSIGMATIC.com/Adam and fuel your productivity and creativity with some delicious mushroom coffee.
Today's episode is sponsored by the NBA and their quest to advance the game of basketball, grow the community, and impact culture. The league celebrates its teams, players, and fans across the past, present, and future as part of its 75th anniversary season. That's Game highlights pivotal moments on court and beyond, from iconic plays in arenas to the impact players have in the community. That's the NBA. That's Game. In Chicago, I know we all miss the days of Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and Phil Jackson. But good things are coming from Lonzo Ball and Zach LaVine, I'm telling you. We also know the Bulls will be very active in the community. They always are. So this is more than just basketball. It's what connects us all and keeps us coming back for more. That's the NBA. That's Game. Your online checking account shouldn't cost you money. That's why Chime, an award-winning app and debit card, has no overdraft fees, foreign transaction fees, monthly service fees, or transfer fees. That sounds fantastic. They have over 60,000 fee-free in-network ATMs at locations like Walgreens, 7-Eleven, CVS, and more. That's more than the top 3 national banks combined. That's impressive. You can also send money to anyone, even if they aren't on Chime. No fees for you or cash-out fees for them. So it's time to say goodbye to hidden fees. Join the millions of Americans already loving Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and it doesn't affect your credit score. Get started today at chime.com/Adams. That's chime.com/Adams. One more time, that's chime.com/Adams. Banking services provided by and debit card issued by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank North America. Members FDIC. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees apply, except at MoneyPass ATM in a 7-Eleven location and at any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Other fees such as third-party and cash deposit fees may apply. You know what I have to take back? If Jadeveon Clowney could play against Jermaine Ifedi every week, I think he could sack the quarterback quite a few times. That first rush he had, inside move, easily got by Ifedi, who had his 3rd false start, by the way. Like, the only time they get offensive momentum going. Another false start by that guy.
31, they get a false start.
You cannot have that. Not have that.
He was horrible. Jason Peters was not good. I thought Peters played well last week. I don't even need to see the tape. They were not good as a unit, especially the tackles struggled. And boy, Myles Garrett's fast.
Yeah.
Because there was a couple times where he was
right on Justin.
He was outrunning Justin Fields. Now Fields wasn't, running his 4.4 speed because he was, just trying to scramble, and Myles Garrett was going 100%. But man, he is
But this is where the adjustments come into play again.
And there were none.
Give those guys some help. You have a 39-year-old left tackle who was fishing like 4 weeks ago. The guy was on a boat.
You see my tweet?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Never forget that his reaction when Juan Castillo called him was, uh-oh.
Well, I felt that way watching Myles Garrett coming off the edge, like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Like, how many times did you see Justin Fields on the turf? Like some of those tackles of him were awkward. Where he gets twisted a bit. You're just like, oh, no. Like, Bears cannot have this. Like, you got to get up. And again, he got his hand x-rayed after the game.
They're very fortunate that a dinged hand was all it was.
Yeah.
Very fortunate. And sometimes I get a little worried because, okay, x-rays could be negative, but how bad is it? Does he need an MRI? Is there something torn? Are we going to find out?
If it's swollen in the morning?
Sounds like he's okay. He didn't have it wrapped or anything when he was in there in the press conference room, but I mean, quite frankly, you're lucky that that's all it was.
Yeah.
And you're also lucky that you have the Detroit Lions next week.
Yeah. Yeah, at home.
Because you need some. I mean, this is a really hard schedule, but the easiest game on the schedule could not come at a better time for this team. Now they just better hope they don't lose it. Because now if you lose to the Lions next week, oh, man.
You're into some problems there. And I want to ask you the question. Do you think if this continues, like if he struggles, if Justin Fields struggles like this, and Matt Nagy doesn't adjust, there's no answers, and Andy Dalton can play in Las Vegas, would you be surprised if he goes back to the Red Hat?
No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think I think that's.
I said that with such a somber tone.
No, I know, but I think they really do want to play Andy.
Yeah.
But again, I go back to I could accept that if there was legitimate stuff that I could see that was like, oh, Justin's not ready. I don't know yet. I didn't feel that way about this game.
Sometimes Myles Garrett was just so fast on his back that I don't know what's going on.
What is he supposed to do? You're not helping him at all.
And they did a good job of collapsing inside the pocket as well, so he couldn't step up.
Would anything have been different with Andy Dalton today?
No.
I don't think so. I mean, I guess we'll never know, but I find that to be a hard argument. And quite frankly, at least the one good thing is I'm glad that Nagy didn't really put much on Fields after the game. I mean, he seemed to really accept responsibility, which was the right thing for him to do. But we're also at the point where enough of the words, man. Like, you are way too far into this thing to have these offensive results. So taking the blame,
it's all nice and all.
We've covered those seasons before. And we all know how it ends when the coach just starts taking the blame for loss after loss after loss, and it doesn't end well when it's
Fox
over.
didn't do it much.
No, Fox didn't do it. It's all a problem.
Yeah. There's two things I want to ask you about because they're floating around on social media.
Okay.
Is Jimmy Graham liking that, was it CBS Sports tweet about the one rushing yard, whatever the Bears had today? Obviously, I think Kevin Fishbaner, my colleague, only had Jimmy Graham for 6 snaps today. 6 or 7 snaps today.
I don't understand why he's on the team.
Yeah. If he's playing that little, taking up that much salary cap space.
I defended keeping him around, but that was under the impression that you were going to play him. What are you paying him if you're not playing him?
Yeah.
It makes zero sense to me. You could have put the money somewhere else, cornerback, tackle, something. That is a mind-boggling development through 3 weeks.
I just think when you have like pretty good tight ends, at least we think so. Like Jimmy Graham's past his prime, but he can still get open. He can still fight for a ball, right? Like they're your quarterback's best friends, tight ends. Mm-hmm. They can help you over the middle. They can get you quick completions. They can help you find the rhythm. Cole Kmet had 1 catch and 4 targets.
Cole Kmet's starting to worry me a little bit, though. Mm-hmm. He doesn't seem open. Doesn't seem to be able to make tough catches. It's early, and I was actually feeling really good about him coming out of last season, but it's not been a good start to the season for the tight ends, him included, and that's concerning because he's making this jump into year 2. You know what, though? It's not just the tight ends. That was another one of my observations. I didn't see any receivers open today, really. Like, there's got to be some ownership for that, too. It seemed like every time... Now, Justin wasn't great. He wasn't accurate on some of his throws, but he was also running for his life on almost every single one, and he's throwing in. It seemed like he was always throwing in the tight windows, too. Yeah. Like, what wide open throw did he have today?
Maybe the one to Mooney when he scrambled. It was the play after the play where you got the pass interference penalty.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was actually targeting Allen Robinson. I don't think he saw Mooney to the very end, at least, maybe. I don't know. That separation just isn't there. The type of separation you see from other teams, right? Yeah. I mean, that's the story of the Bears. And you have all these fast guys you added. Marquise Goodwin. I'll go back to your point where you criticize the speed. What's the point of having speed if you can't use it, right?
They don't use it.
Yeah. So Marquise Goodwin barely played today. Demir Bird. Did he play at all? Was he active?
I didn't see
Pretty sure he was active. Another thing. Did you see, because I know it's been sent to a few of us, the conversation of Andy Dalton and Nick Foles on the sideline? Now, it's hard to lip read certain things there.
Yeah, and I've seen things when someone quotes something that's being lip read, it can make it look like that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like your mind can play. I don't know if that's what he said or not. But also, what did he say? Our offense is bad?
Yeah.
Or that's what
our offense isn't working. The offense
isn't working.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's not. I don't care about that at all. I would hope that, was he supposed to say, the offense is working?
Yeah.
If he said something like, this guy Nagy, man,
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Like that. Okay, that would have been a little bit more damning. But him saying the offense, no kidding, the offense isn't working. Everybody on that sideline should have been saying.
That's my thoughts.
I'm sure much worse things were being said with many F words.
I think the only point I would make off that for the people who want to sound the alarm bells and whatnot is if performances like this happen again, where it's ugly and one side of the ball, it's like the same conversation we had last year. Nagy's ability to keep the locker room together has probably been his strongest attribute as a head coach. By far his strongest attribute, because he's had some testy seasons to get through. Mm-hmm. Another year of this with the rookie quarterback and the pressure he's probably feeling from above, like this is a whole nother, more choppy waters for him to navigate, because this is a different animal.
There's so many layers to it. I mean, even like an Allen Robinson, he's not having the numbers he needs to get a big contract.
Yeah.
Right? And so
I had this stat last week, and I know it's going to be even greater. There were 108 receivers with more, or whatever, doesn't have to be receiver, 108 players in the NFL with more receiving yards than him after week 2. And I'm sure it's more right now.
Probably more. Yeah. Whew. And if I was him, I'd probably want to get the hell out of here.
Trade me.
Right? Oh, man. All right. And where the hell's Eddie Goldman? Who knows?
No, that's another story.
Yeah, don't know on that one. The Bears missed it.
Told you it was significant. Told you.
Yeah. Probably should have put him on IR then.
Yeah.
Another thing, like some of these decisions, it's like, what? I don't know. We're trying, guys. I don't know. Not good. Bears are 1-2. At least they have the Lions next week. Thank God for the Lions. They are the Lions, as we always say.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter at Adam Hoge, at Adam Jahns. Read our post-game stuff. It's all up. Plenty more to react to. NBCSportsChicago.com, TheAthletic.com/Hoge and Jahns, where you go to read Johnsy and the Fishman. And please subscribe if you're not already. Check us out on YouTube. You can see us here in we're in Joniak's radio booth right now.
We are.
Good spot.
Not bad.
That just made me feel bad for Joniak.
On the 50-yard line.
Can't get him one touchdown to call, right? Yeah. Get him one Justin Fields touchdown.
Something.
My goodness. Went to the White Sox game last night. They lost 6-0.
Good trip for you.
It's been a rough trip to Cleveland. Oh, yeah, one today. I wanted to leave at halftime and walk over to the baseball game.
Yeah, they could have came back for the presser.
Right? I think missed opportunity. All right, we'll talk to you guys on Tuesday.
See ya.
Go Bears.